Hunter Shaffer reveals that her new passport now lists her sex as male instead of female following Trump's instatement. If you don't know who Hunter Shaffer is, she's a trans woman actress. She was in Euphoria, Cuckoo, and other movies as well. This is what she says: "We are never going to stop existing. I am never going to stop being trans. A letter on a passport can't change that. F this administration." Let's go and check out her video.
Hello, internet. I don't really post much these days, but I had a bit of a harsh reality check today and felt like it's important to share with whoever is listening.
Okay.
So I'm sure most of us remember on, I think, the first day of Trump's presidency, he signed an executive order to declare only two genders recognized by the state, male and female, assigned at birth. And as a result of this, which I wrote down because I want to get it right, the Bureau of Consular Affairs has frozen passport applications requesting a gender marker change or renewals or new applications with a gender marker differing from an applicant's gender assigned at birth. So my initial reaction to this, because our president, is a lot of talk, was like, I'll believe it when I see it. And today...
See, the thing about it, this is honestly, since my existence and since I know how to think with my brain, this is the first president that, in my opinion, is not just talk. It's the president who talks and does, and even does more than talks.
I saw it on my new passport, male. So now to specify, my gender markers were first changed in my teens when I first got my driver's license, and then passports following all have been female since then. Hasn't really been a problem. However, last year when I was filming in Barcelona, our car got broken into and my bag got stolen, and inside of that was my passport, which was supposed to last me up until my 30s. And so I got an emergency passport, which was very simple at the time. It's basically just a copy of my old passport, but temporary and only supposed to be used within the year. So as soon as I got back to the States, I had to get this fixed and get it replaced with a real proper passport, which I went to the Federal Passport Agency today in LA and did. I've had to do this one time before. No part of the process was different. I filled everything out just like I normally would. I put female, and
it was so easy. Just like that. I can become a male and I can become a female, and I just can put it on a paper and it becomes real.
When it was picked up today and I opened it up, they had changed the markers to male.
Surprise.
I'm not making this post.
I do feel sad for her because she really completely transitioned. She genuinely looks as close as possible to a woman. She sounds like a woman. She looks like a woman. I mean, there are some markers here and there, but I would never have guessed. And I'm sure she's only minding her own business, doing her thing. She's not any harm to the society. And she's kind of a victim, And I do understand that, but this is one person. She represents the minority, but in that minority, there are people who are abusing the system and abusing it to affect the majority, and that is the problem. That's why on a passport and a legal document, we cannot have lies. Imagine a serial killer who transitions completely, changes his gender, goes through the whole surgery thing because he has money like you, and then like he looks like a woman, sounds like a woman, and pretends to be innocent because legally on his documents it says female and a woman, so he couldn't be that murderer. Like, duh, like just think about it. That's the most simple thing that I can say. Like, they can abuse it.
To fearmonger or to create like drama, or
it's not drama. It's not to create fear. It's not to create drama. It's to protect people, especially women, to protect women.
Receive consolation. I don't need it, but I do think it's worth posting to sort of note the reality of the situation and that it is actually happening. And I was shocked. I was shocked because I don't know. I just didn't think that it was actually going to happen.
Yeah. Well, it did happen. It did happen, and a lot of people didn't expect it to happen, and it did happen, and I am glad it happened because I don't genuinely think how this can affect your life unless you want to abuse the system, and do things that by law should be illegal in the first place, in my opinion. I don't know if this is going to affect your roles when it comes to the industry. I hope not, and I hope there will still be a place for you in the industry. But at the same time, I feel like it's an ache for me that you would represent a woman in a movie. I think other women should have the chance to represent themselves. And I think that a woman can represent a woman better than any man can pretend to present a woman. So, I don't know. Maybe there are trans movies out there that can fit your description. And it is sad. It is sad because she's a good actress.
The reality of the situation and that it is actually happening. And I was shocked. I was shocked because I don't know. I just didn't think it was actually going to happen. And like, I want to acknowledge my privilege, like not only as
the video is like a bit delayed from the audio.
Famous,
that's what I feel.
Like celebrity trans woman who is white and thin and can adhere to like contemporary beauty standards, and I can participate in all of that. And I pass, and it still happened. I never had my birth certificate changed, so this has led me to believe that I think the agencies who are in charge of passports and this sort of thing are now required to cross-reference like birth certificates, or I don't know exactly what what changed as far as the processing goes, but this is the first time
Bless you.
This has happened to me since I changed my gender marker. We're coming up on a decade now or something. And I do believe it is a direct result of the administration our country is currently operating under.
Well, duh. You just realized that? It is a direct order, directly happening there. Everything in real time is changing in America. And just seeing the consequences and seeing how people are dealing with it is pretty entertaining to me, which is kind of like mean to say, but at the same time, it is the reality. It is a fact. And to see now how they're going to deal with this and how difficult their life is going to be, and make them realize that transgenderism is not an easy choice to make, all right? And the fact that America made it so easy for people to transgender and gave them even opportunities that are better than women, that would prioritize them above actual real women, made it very like, this forbidden fruit, like this really amazing opportunity that they would snatch and take and abuse. And that is what happened, unfortunately. And after so many women have been affected by it, these are the consequences. This is what you have to deal with. There is more to the video, but the video is kind of broken, so it's very hard to watch. We'll link the video for you in the description if you want to watch it yourself. But let's read this comment. I'm not making this post to fearmonger or to create drama or receive consolation. I don't need it. But I do think it's worth posting to sort of know the reality of the situation and that it is happening. I was shocked. I just didn't think it was actually going to happen. I want to acknowledge my privilege, not only as a celebrity trans woman who is white, I pass, and it is still happened. No one, no matter how wealthy or white or pretty or whatever, is excluded. I don't give an F that they put an M on my passport. It doesn't change really anything about me or my transness. Interesting. She is admitting that nothing will change. However, it does make life a little harder. Okay, so it makes your life a little harder. But what you have been doing, and many other trans people have been doing to women in sports, in bathrooms, made their life much harder than a little harder, okay? I am pretty sure it's gonna come along with having to out myself to Border Patrol agents much more often than I would like to or is really necessary, and thinking about other trans women or other trans people who this might be happening to. It's fine just mentioning it, but also I'm sure that police officers and people on borders who are working, they know about the laws and they know about trans people. Like, it's not something that's gonna shock the world out there. They are probably gonna be trained to figure this out, and they're gonna sit and realize, yeah, the biological thing that we have to change. Maybe you're gonna get a look or two, maybe a smile or a laugh, maybe even a compliment, you know, that they would never have guessed. But that's what you want, right? You want a compliment. You always wanted people to say, you look like a woman. And that was for you everything. Look at this, for example. Look at this picture. This is one picture from the post. Somebody replied and said, this is going to cause issues because how does she not look like a woman here? Question marks. Even in the video and driver's license, them TSA agents are about to be confused looking at her. I mean, fabulous, pretty, really, I think this is as far as you can go as a trans person to look as a real woman. But let's see the replies. Happy Flower says, literally can see the bump. Yep, I can see it too. Now that he mentioned it and I looked at it, I can see it too. How many filters did he use here? Also the elbows. So there's always these tells, all right? Like, there are always tells. Correction, him. The goal is mandatory assault, a sexual assault of trans women using airports, same as the EU regarding prisoners. It's all about punishing EMAB people who are feminine with sexual violence, something society appears willing to devote enormous amounts of energy to. She looks the most like a man here. The toned muscles and bulge. Like, definitely. There is a test to look under the... him, yes, he has female attributes and he is still a man. You can pretend you have a vagina, just don't push me and everyone else to pretend along with you. You can pretend, all right? But let's be honest, you don't have that. You have another tool that you can do really bad thing to women with. So no, I don't feel sorry for you. I'm sorry and I'm sorry, not sorry. I don't feel sorry for you. I'm not saying that she would or he would do that. I'm just saying that someone out there who is pretending to have a vagina would do it. And we should not allow that by law, by any means. You can live your life. You can have your own things. You can devote your whole life to it. You will have difficulties. It's not going to be as easy as it was before. So think twice and 3 times before you transgender. And yeah, that's it. That's my opinion about it. Let me know what you think.